because someone who is drowning is in a state of full-fledged panic. In their desperation, they will do anything. They'll flail around, they'll grab onto you, and they will actually force you underwater as they try to find air. Desperate people do desperate things to stay alive. The Democratic Party, and quite honestly the Republican Party as well, with their progressive ideas, are looking at their poll numbers. They saw Chris Dodd's poll numbers. They see the Tea Party numbers. They saw the 9/12 turnout in D.C. And they see the response to health care and the debacle that they're jamming down our throats. They are becoming desperate. By next fall, just before the election time, they are going to become extraordinarily desperate. They're going to do everything they can just to grab onto some air, keep the power that they've built. Unfortunately, in my time of watching these people in Washington, nothing surprises me, and they're pretty easy to predict. They really are. Unfortunately, my predictions are usually right. Some of them are wrong, but a lot of them are right, and it's always the worst ones that are. I'm going to tell you what I believe they're going to do very soon. And then you set out and you watch, because it will happen. It will happen. But it won't have the ending that they think. I'll tell you about it next.
The desperation of progressives about to be unveiled next.
Tell me if this sounds reasonable to you. Let me predict the future. The progressives are becoming increasingly desperate. And I'm not talking just about the Democrats. I'm talking about progressives like Lindsey Graham as well in the Republican Party. But I want to focus on the progressive Democrats right now, because you tell me if this doesn't sound like what's coming. The progressives that are in office right now are facing increasingly angry, wide-awake American populists. I mean, people who are reading the Constitution and the words of the Founding Fathers. And the progressives still have a couple of pieces out on the table, you know, for the transformational puzzle that they're putting together. And even if they get, I mean, they're already there, just tantalizingly close to closing the deals on health care reform starter home. They also have the climate change insanity, which they desperately want, and that seems to be slipping away. Whether they get those bills or not, they are going to switch gears very soon because an election is coming. And the topic of the main debate, they have to make you forget, or at least their base, forget about all of the spending, the collapsing of the economy, Van Jones, all of the lies, everything that's going on. So they have to change the debate, and it has to be something that they haven't done yet, maybe something that will bring back memories of George W. Bush. What could it be? May I predict? The topic of next fall, and coming soon to a capital near you, comprehensive immigration reform. Whether it passes or not is going to be irrelevant, quite frankly, to these people. It is exactly what they need. What's in the bill? It doesn't matter. The issue will be racism. The progressives must reactivate their far-left base. They must smear their detractors. They will call me and Fox News and anyone else. If you believe that we are a nation of laws and not of men, you're going to be called nasty names. And they're not going to listen to any of the facts that you have to say. I mean, that Fox News, they've already decided that we're not a news organization. Why not just throw in that we're a bunch of Neanderthals that hate anyone that look different than us? Unfortunately for them, and here's the good news, I believe the paradigm in America has changed. Charges like racism deserve to be heard and the evidence debated, if there is evidence. But there usually isn't. Americans are no longer afraid of being shouted down and calling names. We've finally gotten back to the stage where we remember our mother telling us, remember, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Oh, they're not going to hurt. Don't get me wrong. There are people in this country that I don't want that Mexican or that Irish person or a northerner or a southerner living next to them. But for me, and virtually everyone I know, in fact, yes, everyone I know, and I believe the vast majority of Americans, this is about the rule of law and not the ruse of race. This country was built on immigrants, legal immigrants. I am for more immigrants joining us legally. We need the best and the brightest to yearn to breathe free and come here. or we ain't going to make it. We were built on that. History has shown us that some of the finest Americans have emigrated to this country. We all, or darn near all of us, came from someplace else. Why? For freedom. This is what the soldiers who are fighting on the front lines are fighting for, and many of those soldiers are immigrants. Others are doctors healing us and our children, or farmers growing the food we put on our tables. We need more legal immigrants here who are yearning to be free, yearning for a better tomorrow. The facts are on our side. You can call me any name you want. I got the facts. It's what I pointed out when I played that video from Breitbart TV. They found one of the guys from SEIU saying that the union had illegals working here from all over the world. Watch this.
The SEIU is the largest union of immigrant workers in the country. A number of them are undocumented. But let me hasten to add, these are not just Latinos. In our membership are Eastern Europeans, Irish, Polish, Indians, Chinese. The whole world is represented among the undocumented and also in our membership. We also represent American-born workers, legal residents.
Wow, that's big of you. Thank you for throwing us a bone. Are you kidding me? Do you really expect Americans to believe that we hate Eastern Europeans, Irish, Polish, Indians, Chinese, Latin Americans, the whole world? It's laughable. It's pathetic. But when you're trying to separate us, you just have to find anything that can tear us apart. You just call people names that disagree with you. When people call other people names without any evidence, you know they're in real trouble. They got nothing left. They got the last bullet in their gun. These guys are about to shoot it, and they're going to lose when they do. Mark my words, it's coming. Right back. I have thrown an awful lot at you this week, and a lot to think about, and I'm going to show you more on tomorrow, how the country is being fundamentally transformed right before our eyes. You'll see the government, the unions, Wall Street, all coming together as one. The reason why I have done this week is because I'm closing the books on 2009. Man, I just can't read anymore about how we lie about things, how we make things up, or whatever. This is just some of the, this is the research from one producer. One producer. What do we have? 8 producers on this program that are just full-time producers. I've got another 4 just on my staff that work all the time on this. These are just the books that I've read this year that were behind my desk in my office. You want to understand Barack Obama and how they're playing it? Animal spirits. You want to understand American progressives? You get this one. American progressivism. Another one that's better than that one is Woodrow Wilson and here it is, and the roots of modern liberalism. This is fantastic. It'll make your eyes bleed, but it's fantastic. You want to understand the Founding Fathers? Please, I beg you, get this book. I mean, we've done our homework. And we have been right over and over and over again. So why am I showing you all of this stuff? Because next week, this show changes. We're going in another direction. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. I'm going to keep keeping these people's feet to the fire. But let me tell you something. The key word for me all next year, or all this year, is remember. Just remember. Remember the lies that they told you. Remember what they said would happen if we did things. But more importantly, remember who we are. Remember who the founders are. Remember what the idea was. Remember why the Pilgrims got into the boat in the first place. Remember that we are the people that created and transformed the world through freedom. Remember that we're the people that crossed the mountains. Remember that we're the people that conquered dictators and horror shows that were happening all over the world. Just remember the truth, and everything will be okay. We'll stick together. From New York, see you tomorrow. Good night, America.